We're back. I'm so excited to be back on the air with you. The last 2 times I think we've talked has been on your channel. Well,
yes, sir. Been on my channel, dude.
Finally back with a project myself. We've worked on a few projects of my own, but this one's gonna stick. I promise, Doug. But welcome to the show. Say hi to all the people out there. Doug is a Dolphins fan, by the way. I told you guys about the NCAA content. Just throw anything else out there that they need to know about Doug Smith.
Yeah, man. First and foremost, Mike, thank you so much for having me on the show, bro. When you and I come together, man, it's like Kane and Undertaker, man. We're gonna kick some asses. What we gonna do? But a little bit about my show. It's called The Touchdown with Doug Smith. It's one of the best places on the entire internet. I stand on that with 2 feet to get NFL draft content. Not only that, throughout the season, college football season, I interview some of the best college football players currently playing right now. So yeah, you want to do your research, you want to learn about a player and not just have some guy read from an article and look at highlights on the screen. I bring the actual players to the show. Not only that, I do all kinds of wacky different series throughout the internet. I'm a big NFL guy too, as you see, Miami Dolphins. So check me out, man. Hey, thank me later. It's called Touchdown with Doug Smith.
Hell yeah. And I'll have it in the description, everybody, so you guys can go and check it out. He actually interviews the players. I know I mentioned it on the show leading in, but I just want to hammer that home. Like, you'll have the players on the show, like talking to him next to him. I'm not kidding. It's pretty awesome, Doug. And I love watching your content. But I brought you on here to talk about some NFL. I brought you on here to talk about your Dolphins. And let's just start it here, because I haven't put anything out on the channel about Tua yet, as far as the YouTube channel goes. And I haven't really given my take on it at all. But I want to know what were your immediate reaction. My immediate reaction, my heart hit the freaking floor. The second I saw him take the hit, and of course you see him posturing, you know what had just happened, and it's just like everyone's first thought is straight to this guy should retire. But what was your kind of like immediate reaction, just briefly?
Yeah, man, I think this is the first time I ever saw an NFL game where I actually cried. I'll admit it. 6'3", 315 pounds. I cried, dude. I not like a baby, but like I was that bothered and as desensitized as Americans are already. I'm a pretty desensitized guy and seen a lot of things in life, but man, this really hit close to home, man. You know what I mean? I was very bothered when Damar Hamlin, a rival of ours, got injured. Same thing with the Dolphins, man. When it happened, I didn't even care about whether we won or lost. Obviously, he was having a terrible game through 3 interceptions and stuff, right? He wasn't playing very good. Hey, that Samoan warrior in him, man, he's like, I'm going to get this first down. I'm going to fight all the way to the end, because that's what Tua does. He is a fighter, right? When that happened and I saw him hold his head, but on the way to holding his head, he did, his fingers got twisty and stuff. I felt physically lost complete appetite. I remember thinking I'm gonna get something to eat. Didn't want to eat no more. So yeah, man, that was my thought on it, man. It really, obviously, I posted up a short of it on my YouTube channel. I got like 100K views, man. But dude, it's a lot of people. He should have slid. Of course, he should have slid. Tua knows he should have slid. Stevie Wonder through his glasses could see that he should have slid. Of course, but man, sometimes when you're caught up in the moment, man, it's tough to do the right thing when you're really just trying to win the game, even if that means putting your health on the line. Yeah, that's my thoughts.
Yeah. And he doesn't have the wherewithal that we have from the angle we have with the camera, that you can see the line to gain and that he's clearly past it. He's thinking, I'm on it, so I need to get this extra yard to make sure we get the first down. It's unfortunate. And you're right. He should have slid. And he probably knows that he should have slid. And it's becoming a thing now where it's like someone needs to get in his ear and tell him, like, we'd rather lose the game and you slide at this point. I know that this is the NFL and we're all about win first in all situations, but in this situation, in Anthony Richardson's situation, in Joe Burrow's situation, in Andrew Luck's situation, you should have slid. And everyone always says you should slide more when it's too late. And that's not what we want to see with Tua. And we could talk about the retirement talk all we want. Everyone is saying that Tua should retire because of what this can do for him in his life after football. That's not even something we really need to talk about, because he's not retiring. It's not happening. Today was put on IR, so he's going to miss 4 weeks at least. But there was reports early in the morning, I don't know if you saw them, that they were hesitant to put him on IR, that he wasn't going straight to IR, that they were still filling this out. And there was a chance that he was going to go through the regular concussion protocol and possibly back in a few weeks. Now, I think the 4 weeks is wise, just to give this guy some time to also think about everything, not just this season anymore. Like this season is still obviously in play, but you have a full month no matter what, no matter how good you're feeling at the end of the 4th week. You're not playing in that 4th week. But what is your thoughts on them putting him on IR? It's clear he's not retiring, and it's pretty clear that the plan is he's going to play again this season, I think.
Yeah, I don't know Tua personally, man. If I had to guess, he wants to end his career on his terms, not on the Dolphins' terms. And I think it's selfish. It's selfish. And a lot of Dolphin fans, and I get it, but I got to call out Dolphin fans out there. Not all of us feel this way, but there is maybe even a majority who are super pumped that he's coming back. And I'm not. I'm just not happy that he's coming back, because what happens if I'm watching the TV, watching the game with my kids, and the man dies on the field? Like, we got pads, we got helmets, we got this ain't the leather heads with George Clooney. You know what I mean? Where guys have leather helmets, and like, no, there's top tier technology, still not perfect, is getting better. And he has a specialized helmet. He did the judo, and man, this guy should not be playing football. He shouldn't even be playing flag football, for that matter. You feel what I'm saying? Like, this is so much. So I personally, I'm not a fan of it, man. I think he should stay out the game. People have to realize, and I went on Chat GPT, shout out to Chat GPT. And I said something, I typed in something to the extent of, what happens when you've had multiple concussions where you contort your fingers? What are the health risks? Enter. And I did a whole episode on it, man. And bro, it's brain damage.
Yep.
Irreversible brain damage.
Yep.
And we see, here's the thing, we all love Muhammad Ali, man, back when he was in his prime. You know, obviously that's way before I was born. But you know what I do remember? Jamal Lewis, Baltimore Ravens, running back. Remember him? Man, he was cold. He was the give y'all some homework, man. He was beast mode before beast mode. This guy was amazing. He was a linebacker playing running back for the Ravens.
Top 5 in the league at the time.
Oh, yeah. Phenomenal player. I feel like I'm talking to a 90-year-old if I hear him, not that I've spoken with him, but you watch him in interviews, he's like, what are we talking about again? It hurts me, man. It hurt. At the end of the day, it's adults playing a boys' game. And I love football. I'm not going to stop watching football. It's a great, it's changed lives. It's brought people together from racially, religiously. It's such a beautiful sport. It's a true American sport where people from different economic backgrounds could not only change your life, but also brings people together. I love football. But this is, and I hope the NFL will contort and put some type of law out there, put it in the contracts where they could force you to retire. Because as of right now, and I did my research, I could not find nothing. He should be forced to retire. And everybody respects him. Even Buffalo Bills, shout out to Bills Mafia for raising like $16,000 towards his the Tua Foundation. We can't stand each other on the field, but man, salute to those guys, man. But you know, everybody respects Tua, man. This is a guy who came in the NFL with a hip problem. Then it became a concussion problem. And then he went all last year, not a single injury. So now we're all like, okay, you know what? Maybe the weird judo stuff really did work. And then this season he lost some weight, and you know, he grew out his hair, and I think even myself, not that I forgot about it, but I was like, man, you know what? He's probably going to be okay. He's probably going to be all right. This is going to turn around. No, it did not. It's not going to turn around. It's not going to get better. You think you'll go through the rest of your career and not get hit? I don't care if you're Brady. Anybody can catch a hit.
It's unavoidable. You're going to get hit. If you play football, you're going to get hit. Like you're saying, flag football, you're going to get hit. And by the way, Tua, one of the most accurate quarterbacks in the league right now, would probably be a phenomenal Olympian in a couple years here for flag football. I'm just saying, talking about accuracy. What do you need to be good at in flag football? This kind of all lines up. How cool would that story be if he retired now and, you know, started training for flag football and was an analyst? Because that's the thing that bothers me most about this too. Tua is not one of those guys where it's like football and then you're done for the rest of your life and out of the spotlight. Like this guy can get a college football game day job tomorrow. Very well put together, very well spoken. Let's not change that at all by outplaying this. I think he should retire too. If I was in his shoes, I would retire. We talked about it before we went on the air, but I actually played after high school. I played for another 5 total years after high school, and I was going to keep playing for fun when I came home. I played in Japan, for those that don't know, and in my last game there, I suffered a nasty concussion. I was paralyzed. I couldn't feel my feet, my hands, nothing for about 30 seconds after the hit. One of the scariest moments in my entire life. And I decided then that maybe this is a sign in my last game here that I shouldn't play when I get back to America. And I haven't played since then. And I am not Tua, who now has 4 in the past 2 years, 2 of which are severe when your hands and arms go out that way. And when you look at the retirement option from a financial standpoint, from what I understand, he gets the signing bonus. It's $43 million.
Yeah.
No matter what over the next 5 years. Yeah. And then there's a clause or something in his contract from what I read that if he's medically retired, he gets a large number of the remaining guaranteed money still spread out over 5 years. So we're talking hundreds of millions still.
Yeah.
And he can go to TV and make, a salary making millions per year. Another thing I wanted to bring up, Doug, was the idea that I have on this, and something that I've been bringing up for multiple years now, and I'm glad to talk about it here on the podcast also. But I have never been a fan of Thursday Night Football. In my opinion, as someone that's played football, I have not been ready on Friday nights as a high schooler. Like if you play both ways, especially, you need more than a week to get ready for the next game, let alone a Sunday, Thursday turnaround. And I bring this up in this situation specifically because the concussion detection rate is very low in the NFL. It's very low in the sport of football. There's estimates, no one's going to get it exactly, that 50% of concussions in football go unreported. So what we're saying is that someone could get a concussion, and I watched that Jaguars-Dolphins game with a fine comb, and I saw Tua hit the ground multiple times in that game.
Yeah.
You can get a minor concussion, undiagnosed. You're feeling just a light headache. You think it's normal symptoms from playing a football game, and go out there on Thursday unknowing and have that happen to you on a routine tackle from Damar Hamlin, ironically, on Tua there, and boom, your head hits the ground again, and we're talking 2 concussions in 5 days, which is exactly what happened to Tua in 2022. The same situation. Concussion on Sunday. That one was clear. Everyone knew he got a concussion that time. Plays on Thursday, and it's obviously way worse because if you get 2 in that short of time, the severity is on the second one is always going to be permanent brain damage, like you're saying. And I just think on a bigger picture than just Tua, I'm getting the chills thinking about it.
Yeah.
How many guys get concussions on Sunday and play on Thursday?
Lots. And if you really want to play, oh yeah, coach, I'm fine. Yeah, like it's like how many people they get pulled over by the cops. They say, all right, how many fingers am I holding up? All right, count to number 10 backwards. Oh, sorry, count backwards from number 10 to 1, backwards. And they pass the test.
Yeah, so it's crazy. Someone with a concussion can pass some of these tests.
Yeah. Guess what? They also had 4 beers.
Yeah, that too.
You know what I mean?
Sometimes you can just be ready, but you can get a minor concussion and pass those tests for sure. Yeah. I think it's harder to pass the stuff when they're looking in your eyes and so they can really tell, especially right after it happens. But if no one saw it and you got the concussion, you don't say anything, you're feeling symptoms, you can definitely get out there. And a lot of people are upset at my take. I posted a video on this and it did decently, and a lot of people reacted in the comments. I'm not even saying eliminate Thursday Night Football. I think that they should just have it on the second half of the season when they can organize it to where you only play Thursday Night Football game following a bye week or back-to-back Thursday Night Football games. I feel like that's the only way that it should be a thing. And it actually would be better, I think, for the NFL that wants to extend another game, I think, to 18 games, to make their Thursday game tie in with their bye week. If every team's Thursday night game, every season, if you have a Thursday night game, it is attached to your bye week. You get 2 weeks off almost.
Yeah.
And we're going to add a game to the end of the season also. And I feel like that would be a fair trade-off. And we're going to cut the first 5 weeks or whatever of Thursday Night Football from the schedule. I feel like that would be great. The players will be healthier, be safer, and we get some better Thursday Night Football games. A lot of these Thursday Night Football games, half the O-lines are going out there, and it just turns into a crapshoot because half the O-line is going to get destroyed by the D-line no matter who it is in the NFL. So we're getting terrible games anyways.
Yeah, and they're not rested neither. Like your body after you go out, because think about practice is still gladiator school. You know what I mean? What did Coach Prime say? Was it practice like you play the game? A lot of NFL players, they go out there like that, and you know what's crazy? Mike McDaniel, fun fact about him, he's probably one of the few, if not the only coach in the NFL does this. He will let his guys rest for a whole week. And they'll be there at practice, just kind of looking at the playbook, but not actually out there performing, right? Getting hit, doing tackles and stuff like that, right? So, you know, he is super precautious, and it still happened. Still happened, man.
It's unavoidable, but let us know in the comment section if you guys are watching this. What do you guys think about the Tua situation? What should Tua do? It's clear I think he's going to play, but we'll see at least this year what happens. But speaking of this year, Doug, for the second part of our segment here, where do the Dolphins go from here? I want to know the season ramifications since I got you on here. Tyler Huntley was obviously signed. Ryan Tannehill is out there, still a free agent. Don't know if he's interested in playing. There's some familiarity there. I see you making the face. You clearly don't want that Band-Aid, but the Finns do need a Band-Aid at quarterback while they figure out what's going on with Tua, because they're kind of all in, man. You give Jalen Waddle the extension. Tyreek Hill obviously got the pay raise. Like, these guys are locked in no matter who the quarterback is for at least this season. There's no trading. There's no retooling. There's no rebuilding. So where do the Finns go from here? And then we'll talk about their next 4 games.
Yeah, bro. Hey, glad you brought this up, man. So Skylar Thompson is a guy that we drafted 2 seasons ago. He was a day 3 guy. He's round 6, I believe it is. And he played for, I believe it was Kansas State. And this guy is a college football legend, man. His tape, if you want to get entertained, a guy who can like play action, man, he's one of the best quarterbacks to do it, man. Very accurate quarterback. And at one point in time, some would argue he had a stronger arm than Tua, though Tua has improved on that greatly. With Skylar Thompson, he came in and he started the preseason. Now, 2 preseasons ago, fun fact about him, he led take it for what it's worth, it's preseason. He led the whole NFL in yards. Passing yards, touchdowns, he led them in that. So he ended up finding his way as the backup, the backup quarterback for the Miami Dolphins. And when Tua had that really bad concussion against the Bengals where fingers twisted up and stuff, the first time Skylar Thompson came in and he even almost beat the Bills in the playoffs. So he's not a bad quarterback at all. I encourage everybody, check out college tape's the college tape. It's really about what's in the NFL. He has some dope NFL stats. But I feel that because it was preseason, you weren't playing against starters. You were playing against, at least 1/5 of those guys are never going to play football again or go on to CFL or something. There's some of these other guys going to be on practice squads. And then there's a few guys who are like legit ballers out there. So he's a competitive guy. He's a scrappy quarterback, very, very composed, and he is fast. He can run. Mm-hmm. He's not Tyler Huntley fast.
Not quite.
That being said, Tyler Huntley, I love the signing.
I want him. Bring him here. Send him to us.
Yeah. People say like, oh, like in basketball, here's all the time. Oh yeah, he's like a mid-range Dwayne Wade, or he's or a middle-class Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
He's Tyler Huntley is a middle-class Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not bad. So I'll take it. And actually I have his stats here right now from when he was in college. This is a guy that for the 2017, 2018, 2019 season, he threw for 7,300 yards. Really balled as last year, throwing over 3,000 yards. So I would say he's like very mid-range in his passing, but very low turnover ratio. 19 touchdowns to the 4 interceptions. That's really good.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, gave us 290 yards on the ground with 5 running touchdowns. So he is a throw first, but don't get it twisted. He will take off upfield for 50 yards.
Oh yeah, he will. Yeah, and he's been in this spot, and that's why they're bringing him in. Obviously, he's been a guy that's come in off an injured starting quarterback and provided just good play, consistent play with just a very good understanding for the scheme and what he needs to do. And I think the Dolphins, they can survive this 4-game stretch I'm about to talk about here. Even with Tyler Huntley, if Skylar Thompson doesn't work out. And now my friend Tony, sorry, Tony, for revealing our private conversations, thinks that Skylar Thompson is going to be the starter until Tua comes back or for the rest of the season. And thinks that Skylar Thompson can win 7 or 8 games just because Tyreek Hill's so good. Just get him the ball in space. Jalen Waddle is so good. Just get him the ball in space. And we can really tell that there's a commitment to this Dolphins rushing attack lasting this year. And Devon A-Chain looks amazing, but even past him with Jeff Wilson and Jalen Wright being in that group, Raheem Mostert's already down, of course. They're committed to this rushing attack working down the stretch of the season, even without, with Tua on the field. Now without Tua, it's going to be amplified times a million. And what does Tyler Huntley do? He runs the ball well and protects the football. So I think it really is for the Dolphins, if they want to stay in the wild card picture, going to come down to, can the defense be better? We saw it in week 1. We saw it. You got the secondary flying around. You got the edge rushers playing really well. I'm a huge Jalen Phillips fan, probably always will be. And I think that if the defense can continue to play the way they did in that game, I'm going to give them some credit and just kind of scrap that Bills game. Just throw that one out the window and give them a fresh start defensively here. Going into Seattle here, who are very banged up already. Just played the Patriots extremely close, barely beat them. Then Tennessee, Will Levis out there playing Mayo ball, which is not a good thing. It's been terrible. New England, the Dolphins have had New England's number the last couple of years, especially, but just if anyone's had the Patriots number in that division, it's been the Dolphins. And just they're not the same Patriots that we've seen in the past. I know they're 1-1. They got the upset over Cincinnati. That was more about Cincinnati than it was about New England to me. And then Indy, who just kind of got upset by Malik Willis and the Packers. These 4 games, Doug, can you see the Dolphins going 500? And we're talking about Tua coming back in a few weeks, and the Dolphins, could put it back together and get back into the wild card race.
It's definitely a possibility. One thing I want to point out too. So, do we have the personnel to do it? Yes, we have the personnel to win a Super Bowl this year. That's why it's so crazy, the untimeliness of Tua having a concussion. Yes, it's his fault, but at the same time, I don't think he would have thought that would have happened, right?
Nope.
But Mike McDaniel, don't call too many dink and dunk plays. Spread the love. Treat it like a buffet. You get a little rice here, you get a little orange chicken, get a little soup, get you some French fries, some pizza. We have an arsenal of really, really good players that are not named Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. So get other people the ball and throw the ball beyond, 5 yards, 3 yards. You know what I mean? That's cool. That's dope. But man, and then when it's time to play hero ball, all of a sudden you're throwing the ball 30 yards down the field. I don't want to see that from Mike McDaniel. So that's something I will call him out on, man, publicly. Like Mike McDaniel, a good coach who can become a great coach, but I want to see him be more adaptable and change up the game plan a little bit. We got Jonnu Smith out there who signed to our roster, who balled out last year for Atlanta. We didn't get I'm forgetting he's even on the team. You know what I mean? For a lot of people, they didn't even know he was on the team until Tyreek Hill arrest video came out. You know what I mean? So get him the ball. You have a great tight end right there. Get him the ball a lot more. And with our running game, hey, we got a banged up O-line. Teron Armstead is currently injured right now. He's supposed to be coming back. We could have Patrick Paul, our rookie left tackle, who was drafted to take over for him next year. This guy's the size of an NBA player. He's like 6'8", 6'9". He is a behemoth of a man. He's a big guy. But yeah, man. So very excited about this next game versus the Seattle Seahawks, man. But not the time to be modest, not the time to be nervous. Like, we got to throw that ball downfield. You know what I mean? Because we got the players to do it. And don't just focus on 2 players, because the secondary of Seattle, they ain't playing around. They have very good secondary.
Exactly. Yeah, and this is going to be interesting because the Seattle offense, in my opinion, the players look good in the offense, but the offense does not look super good, super stellar. So we'll see what happens here. Because 2 weeks ago, if you asked me, I would think this would be a 40-40 freaking shootout, and now I'm thinking it might be a defensive battle. One team doesn't have any tackles, so they're not gonna be able to block Jalen Phillips. The other team just has a crazy secondary going against a backup quarterback, so they're gonna force some chaos. So this game's gonna be interesting, I think, for sure. And I think the Dolphins can survive it. Again, just can the edge rushers get home? It's the key for these 4. It's the key in most games, and I think it's about that for the Dolphins going forward. Anything else here to throw out there, Doug, before we wrap it up about Miami going forward here? If anything else develops, I will have you back on the show. As I was telling you, we're gonna have guests on this regularly. I'm kind of just gonna build a list of my favorite people. I'll put you there for the Dolphins. TD with Doug Smith.
My man. Hey, if you want me to rant about other teams, but I always got a lot to say.
Oh, yeah. I'll get you on here for a bad Bills night, too. That might be good.
Be great. I got a lot to say about them, man.
One of those Josh Allen games, one of those 2 fumble, 2 interception games from him.
Dude, Josh Allen, I gotta say, Josh Allen is our freaking daddy, bro. He owns the Dolphins.
He's a beast, man. He's a beast. He owns everybody.
He's Papa Josh, man. He is, I hate to say it, bro. He owns Miami, bro. Just like Dan Marino, he owned Jim Kelly back in the day. The roles have reversed.
They got back. Jim Kelly's getting his lick back.
Yeah, man. Exactly, man. So this is why Bills fans, they're so pissed off at us. Right? rightfully so.
True.
But no, it's a great rivalry. They punched us in the mouth and made us pick up our own teeth, man. That was a brutal. Holy cow, that was brutal. But we came out timid. That's what I'm talking about with the play calling. And and shout out to Coach McDaniel. It's not all bad. I gotta say, thank you for not getting Ryan Tannehill. Did not like Tannehill coming out of college. I was hoping we would trade him his second year in the NFL. Look, if he was so good, the time the Titans went to the AFC Championship, the first year that the Chiefs won it, they would have trusted Tannehill to take them all the way, but they became one-dimensional and lost in the AFC Championship. And they just kept giving to Derrick Henry. And that's not a hard game plan to stop eventually, you know?
Yeah, you can dedicate enough guys to it. Anyway, I appreciate you coming on, Doug. Thank you again. We're going to get back to the show, guys. Check out his stuff. It's in the description, like we were saying. Back to the other version of me. Huge shout out to my guy, Doug, once again. I will put the link to his YouTube channel in the description of the full episode and to the clip up. So if you guys want to go and check out his stuff, if you enjoyed the conversation, definitely go subscribe and support Doug, who is coming on to the second episode of NFL Mike's Corner here, trying to make some history. Thank you for tuning in to another NFL Mike video. Now it's time to go make more football friends or go and compete in the Mike's Pickems Challenge or against me in daily fantasy football challenges by joining my completely free NFL group chat. Or head to fifthdown.shop and check out and see if we got your team's newest designs. Or now you can simply rep your favorite players without having to wear another team's gear. And then tag us in pictures of you wearing your Fifth Down merch for a shout out in the next episode of NFL Mike's Corner. And help us reach our goal of getting 1,000 NFL fans wearing Fifth Down. Or you can head to the next NFL Mike video by clicking it. It's on your screen. Go ahead.